Greetings to all. Today we are embarking on an amazing journey into the Renaissance era. We will travel to the museums and galleries of Europe, where 10 of the greatest paintings, revealing a unique perspective on the world and the mysteries of their time, are kept. Each of these masterpieces is located in a special place, which adds unique context and energy to the painting. Let us immerse ourselves in each story and feel the spirit of the great masters. 10th place. Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. The Mona Lisa can easily be called the most famous painting on planet Earth. The captivating smile of this woman has fascinated people ever since Leonardo da Vinci stopped working on it in 1517. It is believed that he never truly finished this remarkable piece of art. The most widely accepted theory is that the painting depicts an Italian noblewoman named Lisa Gherardini, although da Vinci never managed to deliver the work to her. In the 16th century, the painting was acquired by Francis I, King of France, and thus it moved to France. Since 1797, it has been displayed at the Louvre Museum in Paris, except for the time in the early 20th century when it was stolen, but eventually returned safely to the museum. 9th place, The Birth of Venus by Sandro Botticelli. The Birth of Venus is a work by the Italian early Renaissance painter Sandro Botticelli. It depicts the goddess Venus arriving at the shore just after her birth. Interestingly, she appears before us as a fully grown and completely naked woman. The painting is displayed in the Uffizi gallery in Florence and is one of two large mythological works by Botticelli in this particular museum. The other is called Primavera, or Spring, which was painted a little earlier. These works are not a pair, but both mythological paintings are often discussed together. 8th place, Children's Games by Pieter Bruegel the Elder. As the name suggests, Children's Games, also known as the Games of Children, depicts a large scene of children playing various games popular in the 16th century in the regions of modern Belgium and the Netherlands. It was painted by Pieter Bruegel the Elder, one of the most famous artists of the Flemish Renaissance. It is believed that this painting was intended to be part of a series related to the ages of man, specifically representing the 7 stages of life. In this sense, this particular painting would symbolize youth, but since no other works in this series exist, most art lovers simply find it endearing and enjoy reminiscing about their own childhoods. In this extremely crowded work of art, experts have counted at least 80 different types of children's games. 7th place, Feast of the Rosary by Albrecht Dürer. Feast of the Rosary, also known as the Feast of the Rosary, is one of the most famous works by Albrecht Dürer, a contemporary of Raphael and a leading artist of the Northern Renaissance. It has been described as one of the most magnificent pieces of art ever created by a German master. It was one of many works commissioned by Maximilian I, who became the Holy Roman Emperor in 1508. Although the painting depicts the Virgin Mary, art historians believe that it was made in memory of Maximilian's first wife, Mary of Burgundy, who tragically died after a riding accident at the age of 25 in 1482. 6th place, Sistine Madonna by Raphael. Sistine Madonna is one of the most influential works of art created by Raphael, one of the most significant figures of the High Renaissance. The painting was commissioned by Pope Julius II in 1512 to adorn the Church of San Sisto, built in Renaissance style in the Italian city of Piacenza. In 1754, the work found its way to the German city of Dresden, and after the end of World War II, it was temporarily moved to Moscow, the current capital of Russia. It had a significant impact on both German and Russian artists, and is now displayed in the most famous museum in Dresden, Old Masters Gallery. 5th place, The Ghent Altarpiece by Jan van Eyck. The Ghent Altarpiece is not only one of the most renowned Renaissance paintings in the world, but is also considered one of the greatest treasures of art on our planet. This monumental painting, created by Jan van Eyck and his brother Hubert van Eyck, is one of the finest works of the Northern Renaissance. It is known which parts were painted by Jan van Eyck's hand, and most art historians agree that Jan completed the majority of the work. The painting is located in the Cathedral of St. Bavo in the Belgian city of Ghent, hence the name. It consists of multiple panels on both sides, and the central panel of 12 smaller inner panels depicts the adoration of the mystic Lamb. This is why the painting is sometimes also called the Adoration of the Mystic Lamb, or the Lamb of God. Fourth place, Venus of Urbino by Titian. Venus of Urbino is a painting of a young nude woman reclining on a bed in a palace, decorated in the same Renaissance style. It was painted by Titian, one of the leading artists of the Venetian school of the 16th century, and is displayed in the Uffizi gallery in Florence. The painting was based on a very similar work attributed to Giorgione, known as the Dresden Venus. It is believed that Titian Botticelli also contributed to that work since Giorgione died before it was completed. The eroticism of this canvas has not been precisely determined by art historians, and therefore there are numerous theories about how it should be interpreted. Third place, The Creation of Adam by Michelangelo. The Creation of Adam is another defining religious work of art, created by Leonardo da Vinci's contemporary Michelangelo. It depicts the biblical story of creation as told in the book of Genesis. The canvas shows the very moment when God gives life to the first man on earth, Adam. The recognition of the fresco that adorns the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican is perhaps not even the most intriguing fact. Michelangelo reluctantly accepted the commission, as he mainly worked as a sculptor, not a painter. Despite this, he worked on this massive piece of art for over 4 years and repeated a similar effort more than 2 decades later when he painted The Last Judgment on the chapel's altar wall. In second place, The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. The Last Supper is perhaps one of the most recognizable religious works of art in human history. This is notable because Leonardo da Vinci essentially ruined his astonishing work by using an experimental priming method that caused the fresco to fade at the moment it was completed. Fortunately, the canvas has undergone several restorations to restore its original glory, so we can still admire this breathtaking work of art. The painting depicts Jesus Christ with 12 apostles, one of the most common scenes in Christian art. The masterpiece conveniently resides on the wall of a monastery, now a well-known church in Milan. In first place, The School of Athens by Raphael. The School of Athens can easily be called one of the most defining paintings of the Renaissance era in history. It is one of the enormous frescoes adorning the halls of the Apostolic Palace in the Vatican, now part of the Vatican Museums. The painting represents philosophy and was painted by the influential Renaissance artist Raphael as part of a much larger commission. The rooms in the Vatican Museums are now called Stanze di Raffaello, which translates to Raphael Rooms in English. And these are some of the most famous works by the artist. In addition to including various colleagues in the work, Raphael also subtly painted himself in the lower right corner of the canvas, where you can spot him. Each of these paintings carries with it a unique story that is closely tied to the place where it is kept and the time in which it was created. Immersing ourselves in Renaissance art allows us not only to admire the craftsmanship of the artists, but also to learn about the cultural and historical contexts that made these works great. Thank you for your attention, and I hope this journey has inspired you to make new discoveries in the world of art.